We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's time to get into formation. We gotta get ready for the battle. So call on your brothers and sisters. We gotta turn back to the scriptures. Stop making it all about you. Them preachers, they got it confused. Come out of her. Cause Yahuwah is our deliverer. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed, cause nobody's perfect. We're called by his name. We're called by his name. Seek him to be worthy. We should be coming together. There's power in unity. It's time to come into the order, cause we are a living prophecy. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. Lace up the boots. We gotta move step mode, put on camouflage. We gotta be wise. Open your eyes to the most high in the skies. We must stop arguing, it's irrelevant. We must live in the Torah, it's heaven sent. He will put it in your heart, fulfilling the word of the new covenant. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed, cause nobody's perfect. We're called by his name. We're called by his name. Seek him to be worthy. We should be coming together. There's power in unity. It's time to come into the order, cause we are a living prophecy. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat.
Shalom, 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 y'all. Shalom. This is Michael Israel here, and you're watching Spiritual Combat. And as you could tell by the title of the lesson, we're going to chop it up with some scripture. The title is The Difference Between the Poor and the Beggar. And we're going to just go through some scriptures in light of a video that I saw yesterday. So I'm going to bring some clarity to a situation that I see people get mixed up a lot. And I'm going to make sure there's no ambiguity, no gray areas. And you will see exactly why and what drove me to make this timely video. It's very, you'll see why it's important to understand the differences between these, okay? So with that said, we're going to go through some scriptures, and I'm going to just point out some heavy facts, okay? All right. So let's see. Shalom, Shalom Malak. Good to see you in there, man. Good to see you in there. And shalom to everybody else watching. So let me go ahead and get started with this because I started a little late. I don't have a ton of time. But let's get into the scripture, okay? Just to get right to the point, what people don't realize is that there's a difference between the poor and needy and the beggar, okay? And there's some heavy truths in here. So first, let's get it. We're going to talk about the poor and the needy. Leviticus 23:22, it says, "And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field. When thou reapest, neither shalt thou gather any gleaning of thy harvest. Thou shalt leave them unto the poor." Okay, the poor, "and to the stranger. I am the Lord your God." Okay? So naturally, you see right here in the book, we are to help the poor. Okay? It says, "He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker, but he that honoreth him hath mercy on the poor." Okay? So what you're beginning to see, and what I'm trying to just subtly do, is paint a picture. Because at the end of this lesson, you're gonna see precisely, exactly who you're supposed to be helping, and you're gonna see exactly who you're supposed to leave alone. Okay, and it might shock some people, but so that was Proverbs 14:31 that I just read. All right. So let's get into the meat now. Okay. Let's get into the meat. We're going to get into the heavy stuff. It says, "Do well unto him that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly. Hold back thy bread, and give not unto him, lest he overmaster thee thereby. For else thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good thou shalt have done unto him." That is Sirach 12, verse 5, or Ecclesiasticus 12, verse 5. It's telling you, don't give to the Sirach is telling you, don't give to the ungodly. Okay, and we're going to get into exactly what that means, and you're going to see it's all these scriptures line up perfectly. It said, Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 12, verse 4, it says, give to the godly man and help not a sinner. Okay? Let me put these verses up here so you can see, so you don't think I'm running some hustle on y'all. You know what I'm saying? All right, okay. Proverbs 14:31. It says, "He that oppresseth the poor," we read this, or reproacheth his maker, but he that honoreth him hath mercy on the poor. Okay, and what the difference is you have people who beg for money, or people who make you feel inclined to give them money because of their situation. And then you have people godly people who are just poor and don't have. Okay? And the book tells you how to differentiate between them. All right? Let's get into some more verses. 2 Thessalonians 3, verse 10. It says, "For even when we were with you, this we commanded ye, that if any would not work, neither should he eat." Okay? So you have people out there, they don't work, they don't want to get a job, they're not going to try to hustle, and they try to beg for money or make you feel inclined to give them money or whatever. And the book's telling you, if they don't work, they shouldn't even eat. Okay? Ecclesiasticus 40, verse 28. It says, "My son, lead not a beggar's life, for better it is to die than to beg." And it continues, "The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life. For he polluteth himself with other man's meat, but a wise man, well nurtured, will beware thereof." And it continues, begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, but in his belly there shall burn a fire. Okay? And again, that verse, it says, give to the godly man and help not a sinner. So let's break down exactly what all these verses are. I'm going to make it simple about what all these verses are getting at. Okay? Because it's getting at there's a point it's making here. The people you are supposed to be giving to are the godly people. A godly person is somebody who follows these laws, statutes, and commandments. So if a person's following these laws, statutes, and commandments, yeah, they might be poor, but they're going to have enough biblical righteousness to know, hey, I need to get a job and try to do something. They're not going to just sit there begging, feeling sorry for themselves, trying to get you to feel sorry for them. No, they're going to get out there. They're going to hustle. They're going to have a job. They might make little mistakes because they're growing and they're trying to learn wisdom and stuff, but they're trying to do something. So you help them out. When it told you when it talked about gleaning from the fields and all that stuff, it didn't say pick all the stuff and give it to them. It said let them come over there and put in the work of getting it down and getting it off the tree. You got some people who won't even do that. So the Bible is plainly and simply is plainly and simply telling you exactly who you need to be helping. If a person's out there begging on the street, you don't know them. How do you know that you might that might be a Satanist who practices sorcery, which is doing drugs and dealing with drugs, and you're enabling them. You're giving them money. You don't know who they are. You don't know what they believe. So now it's telling you the people you should be helping are those in your congregation that you know. You have a relationship with them. You know who they are. You know that they have a job and that they're hardworking and all that stuff like that. And you know their character. Because how are you going to know if it's a godly man? How are you going to know if they're lazy or not? Because you're going to be in fellowship with them. And you help them out. Those are the people where, yeah, if you get a bunch of money together, you try to help them out. And even that, money is the worst way to help most people. A lot of times you could say, oh, yeah, you're having a problem with that? Okay, I could show you how to do that. Or I could give you advice on how to do that. Or I could give you some wisdom on this. Because you got people who will sit up there and they just want you to take care of them. But the Bible, and I'm gonna make sure I read all the scriptures here. It's 1 Thessalonians 5:14. It says, "Now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded, support the weak, be patient towards all men." Okay? So it's telling you how to deal with all these people. It said, warn the unruly, comfort the feeble-minded. So if somebody, it says support the weak. It didn't say just give them money. It says support them in however they need to be supported. Sometimes people need wisdom, and direction. A lot of times money's the last thing folks need. But a lot of times people throw money at people and just turn them into beggars sometimes, And it says be patient towards all men. So a lot of people are actually violating the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments by giving people money. And the way you know you're violating it is because it creates drama, and there's all types of other issues that come with it. Hey, shalom, Sister Lisa. Good to see you in there. Okay. Now, and it says begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, but in his belly shall burn a fire. And let me do this. I'm gonna do this on this scripture. Okay. And I'm gonna continue reading, but I'm gonna break that scripture. See if I could break that scripture down a little better. So it's 40 verse 30. Let's see what I could do here. All right. Verse. Let me see. That's all right. 222. Trying to find. Anyway, I was trying to find. Let's see. Yeah, but anyway, I was trying to find another breakdown on that. But let me see what else we got here. But anyway, so a person. Let me reiterate the fact. Let me show you the motivation behind why I did this video. Okay, let me. William Morris posted, and I'm gonna pull it up here for you, so you can see. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but you'll understand. Check this out.
I took my daughter out to celebrate a birthday party, and we were taking her home. She lives on the next block over. We stopped here on this corner. A girl was out here with what looked like a baby in her hand, and it was raining. And my wife felt moved to give her some money. So reluctantly, because my wife usually don't do it, I wound the window down. And when she did, some guy came over to say, can I thank her? And as he did that, and I'm not thinking he's going to do what he did, he commenced to stabbing my wife. Snatched her necklace before I knew it, and the girl snatched a little pocketbook in the seat, and they both ran. I jumped out the car to run, but I heard my wife screaming, so I came back to the car. And the police officer I talked to on 911 told me it was a good thing I didn't follow him. He said, because then I could have set.
Okay, so I'm not going to play the whole thing. You could check it out. The title of the video is Baltimore police still searching for man who fatally stabbed Arbady. I don't know what that word is there, but anyway, so just making it solid. You're not supposed to just give money to anybody. You just to kind of really sum it up, you're supposed to give money or help the poor in your group of people that you fellowship with in that family. Okay, that's what the word is telling you to do, because you know who these people are. You know that if they are or if they're not walking according to the commandments, the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And like I said, let me reiterate it with that verse. It said, especially Ecclesiastes 40 and hold on, pulling the verse back up. I'm gonna just hit the verses again. It really ain't too much I even really need to say here. It says, "Do well unto him that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly." And when you transgress the law, statutes, and commandments that the Most High has laid out, you're gonna get you're messing with death. It could be dangerous. And it says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." And it's imperative that the people like us, the watchers or whatever, the shepherds or whatever you want to call me or whatever, we got to sound the alarm and warn the people. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Okay? So what we have to do, we have to use wisdom. We got to use wisdom. Okay? Now we have people who go downtown and stuff on the weekends and feed the homeless. that's biblical, because what they're doing, and I went down there with Brother McGee and helped him out with his with Sean McGee with his organization. But what he does, they go down there, and while they're feeding the poor and giving to the poor, they're also teaching the word. Just like Christ, he fed the people while he was teaching them. Fed them spiritually and, physically. Okay? But, again, there's a fine line. You have to use wisdom when you're doing that. Okay? And it has to be God ordained. It has to line up with his word. Okay? And you got a lot of these people now running around here, these heathens, strung out on meth now, because the Most High is beginning to judge the heathens now. And you see them out there, and they're out there left and right, like this brother said, with their kids. We see them here all the time. The heathens are out there asking for money more than you see brothers and sisters. Like brothers and sisters now can get jobs. Our brothers and sisters will take a little piddly job and stuff like that. But this same thing, you'll have people in Hebrew Israelite groups and organizations that are beggars. And they're kind of, they'll mention their situation and keep bringing it up and all that, to garner sympathy or whatever, And then these people, and you can really look at them and watch what they're doing. And like, okay, I see what they need. They don't need money. They need some motivation. They need some scriptures telling them, look, you got to grind. You need to get a job. Hey, let me help you get a job. And help them where they need the help at. A lot of people just throw money at stuff and it turns into a mess. All right? So, and like I said, Ecclesiasticus 40:28, it don't get no rawer than that. It says, my son, lead not a beggar's life, for better it is to die than to beg. Get a job. Read that scripture to people who, they just won't get a job, And, nobody will hire me. And the daggone, you see jobs everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So look at this. The definition of beggar. A person, typically a homeless one, who lives by asking for money or food. And another one is a person of a specific type, often one to be envied or pitied. Okay? So, a lot of times, it don't take long to look and observe somebody's situation and see, okay, this is where the problem is. Hey, it ain't that you need money, is you need to fill out these applications. And I'll give you a ride around and help you fill them out. And a lot of times those people will back off and leave you alone. Because a lot of times they have no intent on getting this thing. And then I've run into people who, they just going through hard times. I help them out. I do bend over backwards. And people can say that. Like, I could, witnesses can attest to that. All right. It says, this is Ecclesiasticus 7:15. It says, hate not laborious work, neither husbandry. And what you're going to see is painting an airtight picture. And the wages of sin are death. Transgressing what he's put here can end in death. It says, give to the godly man and help not a sinner. Don't help a sinner. If you help, and what's sin? Transgression of the law. What's the law? Statutes and commandments. All this stuff here. Okay? Now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly. So the ones that are out of order, you're supposed to correct them. Be comfortable with the uncomfortable like that. And that's the way I am. I'll tell a person. Because I'm quick to cut stress out my life. All right? Do well unto him. So you see all these scriptures here. Check them out for yourself. Make sure I'm not trying to run something on you. And you know, because it's facts. A lot of people there's people in their life, there's people in their houses who won't get jobs, who are just make a living off people, you know? So yeah, you know. But yeah, y'all, shalom to all y'all who've tuned in. Tammy, Zakar, good to see you in there. My man Yehukanan, Yasha'Allah, all y'all who've come in there. So yeah, but anyway, I appreciate y'all tuning in to Spiritual Combat. I'm gonna wrap this up. Like I said, I know I'm gonna get back onto relationships. Matter of fact, my lesson tomorrow is gonna be a lot on just coming out of your shell and all that stuff like that. So it's gonna be a good lesson. I've been super busy. I've been so busy, man. And it's like what I'm beginning to do is delegate certain aspects in my life out to people who are willing to step up, like Sister Koya Israel stepped up big time in my life. She's seen her husband really moving, shaking hard, and she stepped in and took a huge burden off me. She does a lot of administrative work for Spiritual Combat, and it's been like a huge relief to me, just her operating in that Proverbs 31 woman, just really walking in that as a wife, you know, and really being an asset to me and a help me in my life. And I appreciate her for that. That's why I love her. That's one of the many reasons I love her. And I look forward to our anniversary that's going to be coming up. We're going to celebrate it on the first day we get to Detroit. So we're going to really try to, you know, romance it up. So it's going to be our 10-year anniversary. It's going to be awesome. But anyway, with that said, appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm Michael Israel. Y'all watching Spiritual Combat. And shalom.